I mean, they're two of the longest. I mean, it's weird to say because I can remember a time when they were the new kids on the block, but now in the current state of NA 1v1s especially, these are two of the longest standing high placing players, which again, really weird to say, but that is the state of things at this point. We are obviously in some cases seeing a much different Java to what we saw breaking into the scene, which was a Baldr. Now everyone's with Dusk, but MegD has been playing the Asuri, playing the sword and the katars since the dawn of time. And the one thing we see that's different this game is the drip change in comparison to previous, and maybe the drip change is warranted because MegD so far is opening up so well against Java here.
This was like one of the classic Asuri skins way back in the day that players would use. This was before we even had probably like Mecha Asuri. This was before we had Star Wars crossover, the Star Wars epic event. But this is like a MegD classic right
here. And Java seems to be kind of at a loss on how to deal with this from MegD, as just mashing these down airs does find a bit of damage, and MegD just strikes back in turn. Java much less dictating of the pace of the game than we saw in the previous set against Balloon Boy, and that might just be down to the fact that MegD forces you to play at his pace. You can't fight MegD how you want, which is why we see so many more aggressive players falter when it comes to fighting MegD, because he will always outlast you if you try to play your own game.
Now, one thing Java will have is, like, he has range. He has a lot of range on both weapons compared to MegD. Orb is going to outrange both of his weapons. Spear is going to outrange both of his weapons. So it's going to be difficult. That lets Java, like, push into him a little bit more often because he doesn't have to get as close, right? If he gets close enough and MegD, like, backdashes, he just have to move a little bit further, and he's going to have range, whether it's for a down air,
okay,
a side light. I thought we were going to get a little bit more on the edge, but of course, MegD completely disengaging. Java went for the Sig read. Didn't grab it again, going for the second neutral signature.
Oh, the dodge read triple? No, okay. Doesn't try to chance it. Does find I mean, did Java even... I don't know if Java took damage from MegD once he sent MegD down onto his second start. That was either flawless or as close to flawless as you can get. And now all of a sudden, completely different game. Now Java's the one who's up on stocks and up on damage, and MegD over onto the sword. And this sword by MegD is just something we've seen so many times. We know MegD can just turn games around with this weapon because he's so consistent on it. And Java doing a good job at respecting that, timing these dodges well, but still actually kind of rushing up onto the stage there, not giving too much respect to the edge guard. And MegD isn't taking too much damage in this process. As I say that, does take another hit. Can't afford to take too many here.
He's starting to spear neutral air a lot, which is something, and I don't know why. I was going to point this out earlier in the previous sets, but it was something he wasn't doing in the set against Balloon Boy, and then in the set against Bunny either, which kind of surprised me.
Okay, I've just realized something, Sparky.
What? Tell me.
No matter what happens, we're getting a first-time gold medal for one player here today.
Yes, sir. History will be made.
None of the players in top 3 today have ever got a gold medal.
Yep.
And in Breachamu's case, before last tournament, they hadn't even got a podium, and now he's, worst case scenario, against Silver, and Java looking good enough that he might be on his way up into the Grand Finals if he keeps playing like that. Takes the first game, completely clean stock on his final there.
I think Java just needed a little bit of time to figure out how he can press the advantages that both of his weapons have against MegD. And I kind of want maybe a little bit of a switch coming out from MegD, maybe a Val coming out from MegD to see how the gauntlets work compared to the Katars, because I didn't actually catch the individual damage numbers at the end of the game because I was more focused on what you were saying about first gold medalist of all time here. In their career, which is huge. But yeah, I didn't get to see the damage breakdown to see how much damage his Katars did compared to his sword, because I feel like I didn't see that much Katar work going on. Definitely in the latter half of the game, it felt like it was mostly sword, but really it was just mostly getting hit.
We're seeing, goes for the end light there, actually. Much more neck and neck on this fast stock than we saw last game, and that might be dictating, or it might be indicative of a more close game overall. MegD obviously looking to at least turn around the damage here as Java is very slightly in the lead. Goes for the Ensig there. Not sure who that was intended for, as MegD was just, standing right in front of him. Okay, Java, you have other moves. Yeah, there's one.
yeah, there's another one. How about that one? How about the D-Sig this time?
Maybe on the sword. I mean, that is the more KO efficient weapon on Asuri here, but Java has the orb as well. Both players on their more KO efficient weapons. Although weirdly, I've said this before, Java honestly plays Spear more like his KO confirm weapon sometimes. Like especially on the Hattori, you'd see him use the sword honestly more for damage build than for KOs, and it was really unorthodox. Worked out sometimes. Sometimes it seemed to really hurt him, and
he threw it away.
I'm not sure what happened there.
That was all Java's misplay. He thought he would be able to get back over to the wall in time, but of course you saw him like go further to the right with the orb recovery. I think he was just maybe seeing what MegD was going to do, if MegD was going to come out and push him over on the edge. So yeah, I think that was ultimately like Java's misdiagnosis, overestimation of his ability to get back over to the wall after he recovered towards the blast zone. Even though he was really high in the air, he just didn't have enough to get back over. And if he didn't recover that way, he would have had enough to get over.
Yes, so now Java looking to get work done with this orb. MegD throwing the pace a bit more here. Java back into the situation we saw on the first stock of game one, where he's struggling to find these openings, throwing out these moves in anticipation instead of as like a punish.
He got the dodge and didn't pressure. That's very interesting. Like I get that it's MegD, but still.
Fair enough. Absolutely fair.
I swear I'm not being disrespectful.
No, MegD actually.
Dude, okay. Java, come on! What are you doing, bro?
I mean, MegD like wanted to pressure that edge guard. He didn't really need to. Just his presence there, being off the side. Java got a bit too afraid of the edge guard. Faded too low, couldn't make it back up, and now we're seeing MegD in the position Java was game one.
I can't tell if it's like Java misplaying or if it's him like thinking a plan is going to happen and it just doesn't. If he's sitting there like, yes, I know what's going to happen. MegD is going to pressure me. He's going to push out off stage in the edge guard and I will have the moves to turn the tables. Because like look at what he's doing. He's throwing away his stock and then he's like all but evening up the game. Imagine if he didn't throw away those stocks.
Yeah, I mean, one may only be able to imagine here as Java, who actually does start to take the lead. That nair, I don't know if that would have KO'd, but still, that's so much damage and so much pressure applied to MegD. And we're back to this sort of neutral loop of Java trying to anticipate MegD's approach instead of going for a reaction here. But still, damage now in Java's favor, looking to try and go to a 2-0 scoreline. MegD, sword cutting up. Both players disarmed for a second there. Java gets back on the orb. GC side sig. And there it is. Java, almost 600 damage needed, but does manage to close out the second game as well. Do we see the Val?
Great example. He's not just hitting sidelight, inlight, and then resetting, and that's how he wins his games. Like, you need more. And the sword, like, isn't doing that much better either. See, yeah, like 2 hits. Now swap over the sword, try to strip the field, get back over to the Katars. He hit the side air. Great movement from Java.
Yeah, I think the comparison to Guichibu's Katars is a really good one to make because, I mean, just that side air as well. MegD down to that side air doesn't go for anything else. Like, I think for Guichibu, you'd expect, like, a chase after that side air. You'd expect more pressure applied. MegD is sort of just backing off way too comfortably here. On a weapon like Katars, the strength of the weapon that makes it so scary so consistently is the fact that you can apply so much pressure in a way that's much more safe than a few other weapons. And so I think you're completely right that there has to be something that changes in how, because he's honestly playing Katars like a combo weapon, not a string weapon.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And like, yeah, he's winning out right now. He's beating Java's spear. But I'm curious what happens when Java all of a sudden has sword, or orb. Okay, delay recovery gets the KO. Now we didn't see Java pick up a weapon there. I don't know if that was him choosing to go in unarmed or if it was him not wanting to pick up the orb because he would likely get KO'd soon, and then he would lose that orb, and the next weapon he picks up on the next spawn would be the spear that he was struggling with. Okay, so now we have the matchup I'm looking for. We have orb into Katars, and it was completely favoring Java before.
It was, and so yeah, this is the chance for MegD to prove he can adapt to it. Java, it's just the way Java moves when he has the orb. He's just all over the place. You can just keep on moving with it, and like you said, yeah, Java just dominates the second that matchup comes into play. MegD just did not answer back. There was no sound from MegD in that second stock of Java opening up, and now Sword into Orb is something we haven't seen too much of here, and just throws it away.
Yeah, this is a matchup that, unless something drastically changes, I do not see MegD winning. There's 2-piece, 3-piece, nice. But then he's going to take a 3-piece, 4-piece. And even if that wasn't a 4-piece and it was matching the 3-piece, 5-piece, even a weapon toss, like per move, the orb is doing more damage. So Java is not only winning it in number of hits, but also damage per hit.
Damage still pretty even across the board. Java just very narrowly in the lead. That down air doesn't go for the neutral out of it that we've seen so much. D-Sig does come through, but the punish is punished with a sidelight Sarah. Now Java opting to starve and stick with this orb. MegD creeping towards KO range here on the second stock as the disarm comes through. Sidelight Nair doesn't go for the recovery, but MegD is so afraid of the pressure here. Weapon throws to give Java the space as he whips the D-Sig on the edge guard. MegD's expecting it, and Java knows it. Doesn't overcommit, but sidelight Sarah again, and Java now poised to go 3-0 back up onto the upper side of the bracket to look for those grand finals. MegD needs something here.
Yeah, like MegD is just playing very defensive. He's overspacing a lot of things. The only problem is, like, when he gets in range, well, he never really gets in his range. He just gets in Java's range, and then the attack comes out, just barely getting to that. Oh my gosh, Java continuing to go in unarmed and doing work. Now he's back over to the spear. This is MegD's best chance. Finding a KO here, not able to punish the signature.
Okay, the D-Sig. Perfect use there to cover that positioning of Java, but MegD cannot afford to get hit by anything major here. I mean, this is a good start!
Imagine.
And that's what we need to be seeing for these Katars. We need to see these commits, these longer strings. And now MegD looking forward, putting it all on the line with that N-Sig, and Java manages to punish. Does he find another? MegD doesn't even touch, and Java secures it, going in to the grand finals off the back of a 3-0 over MegD.
That was like hard to watch. That was really tough to watch, especially not getting to see if the Val would do something. Like I understand the mindset of, like, I'm gonna dance with the date that I brought rather than go to the dance and find a prettier woman and then go home with her, or at least the attempt to do that, because sometimes it just straight up doesn't work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I'll allude to Boomy. Boomy is a player who will, oh, dude, look at the orb damage from Java. He's an orb player now.
Look at the Katars damage of MegD. 400.
Yeah.